Good morning, students. How are you? I think actually you all are COVID-19 warriors. Stay home, stay safe. So, today we will start our second part of the Life's Lighter Moments. Flying cakes are dangerous. This is another proverb. Before that, actually, I would like to tell you that you have to prepare a copy in which actually you will fill the index also. You will write the meanings, question answers, grammar part and writing section, whatever actually we are going to do actually in this videos, that you have to write and maintain copy. Okay, so we don't know actually when this school is going to open, but I think actually that more than 1 month actually it's passed, so it's better to prepare copy because we are not going to do actually a repeat again these lessons in the future. Okay, so let's get started. As you can see, here is a picture on your screen. Now you have to try to guess what happened in this picture. You can see here cars, lorry is there. Then behind that lorry, actually there is a car. Okay, it's collided. Okay, the bottles also you can see actually the back of this lorry. So it's flying actually, it's in air. It's falling down. Okay, so something happened, I think so. You can see the tires also, I think actually the brakes are applied. Okay, right, so there are lots of action you can see here. Okay, it's look like something accident happened. So there are some words actually also which is very important here. So like actually in such type of situation, so you can say actually it's a panicked situation. Okay, so words which can describe this picture like brake hard, or actually when you brake hard your whole body actually it's thrown forward. Okay, so somebody is driving by your side as well, drawing up alongside, and somebody applies a brake, actually this is all happen actually pulled up, or all of a sudden. When all of a sudden actually something happens, I think actually everybody is in trouble. Okay, so here in the picture you can see actually something fall down. Okay, so there is a woman. Okay, I think actually this cake was actually with her. So all of a sudden actually when somebody applied a brake, so fall down. Okay, so let's read the content, the text of this lesson in our next slide. Here are some words which you have to write in your copy. So first is rush hour. So there is a Hollywood movie also upon this. But what do you mean by rush hour? It is actually the times of the day when traffic jams are commonplace. Okay, when the traffic's or the everybody is driving vehicle. Okay, so traffic jams are common. So how we can use actually in sentence? So like here it is given, nowadays rush hour is not a commonplace because of COVID-19. Yes, that's true. Everybody is at home, so making themselves actually safe at home. So on the road actually you can see traffic, a lot of traffic. Okay, so in this way actually the environment is also getting clean. Now the second word is what? Panicked. Okay, panic situation actually when accident happens. Panicked, it's meaning actually of fear or fright. So she, when you are having fear or scared, so naturally actually something happens, you hit somebody, something like that, or she hit him in panic. This is sentence. By the sentence you can understand what means. Okay, piled up. What do you mean by piled up? A traffic accident involving several vehicles that hit each other. So when somebody applies a brake all of a sudden, so the whole traffic, behind that vehicle, it all of a sudden stopped, and there are a lot of chances of accident. Okay, so what is the sentence here? Sudden stop of a vehicle made the whole vehicles piled up behind it. Okay, you can say actually piled up is what actually when you are keeping a book one over another also, that's also having the meaning. Okay, the last one is devoured. So it's ate something very quickly. So in the sentence, the young cubs hungrily devoured the deer. So when you are eating something hungrily, okay, when you are very hungry, so whatever it is in front of you, actually you used to eat it very quickly. Okay, so these are just 4 word meanings. So please write in your copy. Okay, so let's go to the next. Now let's read the text. This happened in Sydney. During rush hour, two cars collided. Both drivers began to argue. The woman in the car immediately behind the two cars happened to be a learner. She panicked and stopped her car suddenly. This made the driver following her brake hard. His wife was sitting beside him, holding a large cake. She was thrown forward and the cake went right out through the window. It landed on the road. A lorry driver was drawing up alongside the car. Seeing the cake flying through the air, he pulled up all of a sudden. There were empty bottles of soft drinks in the lorry, and hundreds of them slid off the back of the vehicle and onto the road. This led to another argument, this time between the women and the lorry driver. Meanwhile, the traffic piled up behind them. It took the police nearly an hour to get the traffic on the move again. In the meantime, the lorry driver had to sweep up hundreds of broken bottles. Only 2 stray dogs benefited from all this confusion. They happily devoured what was left of the cake. Now the explanation. So as I already told you in word meanings, what is the meaning of rush hour? So rush hour is the time of a day where a lot of vehicles are there on the road. Everybody is in hurry. Okay, so traffic jam is a common place at this time. Okay, so everybody is in hurry. So what happened actually here, as you can see in this picture, that two cars collided. So two cars collided, and these two men, they are arguing with each other that this is your fault, this is my fault, no it's not my fault, it's your fault. Okay, so both the drivers are having the arguments here, right? And there was a woman and she was a learner. Okay, so in such kind of situation, when these two drivers were having the argument, and all of a sudden actually she applied brake, she was in panic. Okay, and because of this actually behind her there was another car, so the situation becomes confusing. So that woman actually, who was a learner, applied the brake suddenly, and behind her actually this was the car. So as you can see actually, beside the driver, okay, this woman was sitting, and she was having cake in her hand. So when actually the brake applied the brake hard, so she was thrown forward, and when she was thrown forward, that cake actually was in her hand, and it was, as you can see in the picture, it was falling down. Okay, so all this confusing situation actually happened during the rush hour. So behind that car actually there was a lorry driver, so he also applied brakes suddenly, and because he was carrying actually bottle, cold drink bottles, soft drink bottles, so because of his applying brake of this lorry, so all the bottles actually slid and fall down and broken. As you can see actually here in the picture, hundreds of broken bottles fall down. So here you can see actually that lorry driver and that woman was having arguments again. Okay, so there was a lot of confusion, so everybody is blaming actually this, blaming that is your mistake and this is not my mistake. All these things, all confusion during the rush hour it happened. So as the lorry driver and that woman was having the argument, and meanwhile actually there was a lot of traffic behind them. Okay, so all the vehicles actually piled up behind them, and really it was hard work actually for the policemen to clear the traffic. Okay, so it took almost nearly an hour to get the traffic on the move again. Okay, really it was hard work for the policemen. I think this lorry driver actually is a true patriotic, you know. So because lot of that means hundreds of bottle actually it was lying on the road, you know. So as a good citizen, you can say that actually he cleared all the bottles. Okay, so at last he accepted his responsibility, right? So we can say actually he's a responsible citizen. Okay, good. Oh, here see what happened. All this confusion, the two car drivers, when they both actually having the accident, the car collided, they were having the argument, and behind them actually it was a woman who was a learner applied the brakes suddenly, and behind them actually there was a woman actually carrying cake, so it fall down behind her. Actually it was lorry driver. Okay, so he also applied brake all of a sudden, and because of that the whole bottles fell down, it broken. Okay, the bottles broken on the road. He has to sweep all the bottles, he has to clean actually the road. Okay, in a true sense you can say actually he is a good citizen, responsible citizen. But from all this confusion actually, who benefited from this? These two dogs, two stray dogs. See actually how they devour actually all the cake which fall down from that lady who was sitting in the car, and she was thrown forward, and the cake which she was having in her hand, it fall down on the road. But this two stray dogs, they really benefited from it, and they devoured all that cake actually which was lying on the road. So what do you understand by this? Flying cakes are dangerous. Okay, so cake is considered to be an omen. Omen is what? Something that is considered to be a sign of how a future event will take place. So, and cake is what actually, if flying cake in the sense means which brings a happy news, good news. Okay, so too many cakes means what? Too many happy news, right? So here actually in this situation we can say actually happy news in the sense that is for these two dogs actually it was for happiness, because they devoured those cakes. For others actually it was not, because for others actually it was all confusion. Okay, and sometimes actually we have to, or we must not agree, should not agree on any news that you listen from someone else. Okay, if you have not researched on it or have not seen it from your own eyes. Therefore, flying cakes are like flying news, which can be dangerous if taken seriously. Okay, thank you. Here are some questions which you have to write in your copy. So do remember that you have to prepare a copy. Okay, so you have to answer this following questions. So total 4 questions are there, and with this actually I am giving you more exercises also of previous video. Okay, so that on that time actually I didn't give you there you got actually match the proverbs with their meanings. Okay, so this time actually I'm giving you the questions along with this of that previous proverb, that was all well that ends well. So please do that also in your copy. All these questions answer I think actually you get from the text only when you would read it, and already I explained it to you as well. Okay, that's all for this session. So we'll meet again. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe.